Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Yaoi, the co-founder of Worq, where we're building an AI recruiter for global companies. I've spent years of my career working on some of the largest consumer product companies in the world. So today, I'll be talking about how product teams in specific, should start thinking about AI-first product and how we can use AI to unlock new opportunities for businesses. So just a quick introduction about my history. So I started my career working at Yahoo, where I work on the ad tech side, working on media buying platforms. Followed by, after Yahoo, I went to two of the major ride-hailing companies, Uber and Gojek. At Uber, I work on building the data products and internal tools supporting the growth team that handles more than 100 million of ads budget per year. And at Gojek, before I moved to Gojek to lead the data science product team, that works on building a lot of the AI and ML products that powers the super app across Southeast Asia today. And I've seen the major impact of how AI can really transform business impact and consumer experiences firsthand from all these companies. And in the past, from my previous companies, one of the observations has always AI systems. One of the observations is the AI systems are expensive to build. You often require large data teams, product teams, engineering teams. And we often see most of these AI systems limited to large companies like marketplaces, e-commerce, or social media. However, with the emergence of APIs like OpenAI, now we see a huge opportunity for startups and many companies where we can start to rethink how we can build an AI-first product in addition to just using it to enhance product experiences. So the past decades of automation has been around efficiency. The traditional B2B SaaS software has been designed around automating workflows and helping humans to improve productivity. However, in the coming decades, software will take an AI leap forward. Where software that just once merely help to digitize and automate and augment human workflow will now start to become the human brains. And we actually believe that AI will actually help companies to start disrupting into the services industry as well. And this is a popular term that has been coming in some of the VCs, where they start to they term it as service as a software, where companies can actually leverage on AI and human to actually disrupt the service industry. If we look at the market opportunity today, so if we look at the market opportunity today in terms of this AI-enabled services, so if we look at what Worq is actually operating in today, so the total revenue for those HR and recruitment technology platforms like LinkedIn generates about 30 billion of revenue per year. In contrast, if you look at HR and recruitment agencies, the total global revenue of these agencies is actually 650 billion. And we believe that AI services will help companies open new market opportunities to actually scale their revenue. And if you need more, you just take a look at Salesforce, one of the most successful SaaS company in the tech history. They're generating 35 billion of revenue a year. In contrast, the global sales and marketing revenue is 1.1 trillion. And we believe that AI, if you look at the market opportunity that AI-enabled services can disrupt, it will cause a disruption that is far larger than just the traditional software itself. So we believe that product shift will actually open up, platform shifts will actually create new opportunities where companies, and software companies especially, can start to rethink how we can rebuild, rebuild software, large categories of software businesses. So if you look at how we think about it, in the earlier days, before AI era, so if you look at a recruitment software, for example, a user typically uses a type of software that helps automate various of their recruitment flows that usually involves complex UI. But in the AI-first world, where we think about building product, we will move into a more chat-based interface. And this is actually more intuitive as a user. And if you think about it, many of you would have probably tried to hire people before. If you look at it, 90% of the companies globally work with recruitment agencies. And why we work with recruiters is that it's because it's simply easier, right? We talk to them in a conversational way. When I hire someone, I don't go to LinkedIn to search for candidates, create what type of job post, and then we start, right? And we start to search for candidates. We often go to recruiters and say, hey, I need a candidate that can do X, Y, Z, right? So in the AI world, it's going to move into a more conversational, chat-based interface. Secondly, if you look at the product surface area, in the pre-AI world, it usually solves a narrow point-based solution. So if you look at the recruitment software today, you probably will be using a mixture of a combination of various recruitment software, like application tracking system, LinkedIn for searching candidates, and then and that solves a specific narrow problem. And in the AI world, where we move to a more conversational base, it's going to be a more holistic solution, where AI can actually help you to not just look for candidates, but actually we solve the end-to-end flow, where we help you solve for candidates, schedule interview, and eventually close the candidates. And lastly, this will actually opens up a business model in terms of an AI-first product. For example, we know that most of the SaaS today are charging on a subscription-based model. And at Worq Health, by targeting service like AI-enabled service model, we actually ran ahead and we're actually the only company right now in Singapore that actually have a legal license to charge recruitment fees as part of our revenue model as well. So by targeting this unlocks additional revenue channel for us. In addition to SaaS, we're also now able to access a revenue model that enables us to charge recruitment fees using AI, very similar to how recruitment agencies are charging today. So let's take a look at at the comparison in terms of how the flow between the traditional SaaS and how we're building it at Worq Health. So AI will fundamentally alter how a job is executed today. If you look at the traditional recruitment software today, a recruiter will first go into LinkedIn or some kind of or any other sales platform or sales and recruitment platform to first search and filter for a list of candidates. Next, they might download a list of candidates based on their requirements, and then start drafting automated emails or WhatsApp or in any forms of communication outreach to these candidates. And lastly, they would have to coordinate and handle all this recruitment process and manually answer candidate questions. So if you look at all these flows today using the traditional software, it's actually a pretty fragmented flow. And we believe that AI will fundamentally change how recruitment is executed. Firstly, if you look at how we built how we move the search and filter, we're going to move it into a more conversational search powered by LLMs. So it's going to be very conversational, very similar to how you speak to a recruiter and how you're actually looking for and your job requirements. And secondly, we're building AI agents that helps to automate a big part of the recruiter task that is handling candidate outreach based on the job recruitments. Most of the candidates are actually passive and are not actively looking for jobs in the market. And by using AI agents, we actually help the recruiters to source and reach out to interested, relevant candidates on the back end that actually save them a big part of the time that is spent on searching for candidates. And lastly, we build AI agents that can handle the whole entire end-to-end job application processes. That can handle like answering candidates' questions as well as interview scheduling, etc. So in terms of how if you look at this, we fundamentally alters how the job is done and how a typical AI-first product and software should interact with consumer in the future world. And we have seen huge impacts actually with this model. So by moving into an AI-powered recruiter model, we've seen that our recruiters can actually place candidates 3 times more efficient than candidates using traditional software. And using LLM to automate some of the tasks, manual tasks for the recruiters, we actually see them freeing up more bandwidth, where it actually they are actually able to fill a job 3 times faster than the traditional approach as well. And lastly, one of the most interesting thing is actually in terms of revenue, right? So in a typical SaaS recruitment software, if you look at LinkedIn or those kind of recruiter software, on a SaaS model, you probably charge $400 to $500 per month, right? So, and if we move into an AI-enabled services, we're actually able to increase our revenue per candidate by more than 10 times in addition to the SaaS model. Now, lastly, I'll end off in terms of sharing how we incorporate large language models into our product strategy. So we actually adopt a multi-agent framework that actually automates the end-to-end recruiter workflow in the shortest amount of time. And we actually have one single large language model, large language model supervisor agent that handles multiple specialized SLM, small language model agents. And small language agent is actually fine-tuned or using RAG on specific tasks such as coordinating interviews, scheduling, and matching the candidates. And we find SLM actually pretty effective because if you look at the previous slides, that end-to-end recruitment actually has various workflows. And it's very similar to many companies' SaaS. If you look at it, companies typically have well-defined workflows for automation. And SLM actually fits those specific contexts effectively. And in using SLM, we also increase the accuracy by training it to a specific task. And then it also reduces the limit of hallucination. And in addition, we also find that running multiple SLMs, this approach to be more cost-effective as well. And in some cases, like interview scheduling, where using a large language model might be an overkill. So, and we also see some benefits where SLM optimizes for security and privacy as well. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation. I hope you find this helpful. And I think hopefully this will be helpful in terms of how you think about product strategy and how you can incorporate like large language models into your SaaS workflow. Thank you.